Hello everyone. Today's session is about setting up OneDrive for business CentreStack integration. CentreStack OneDrive business integration needs to be done from the cluster manager. So we log in as the super admin for our CentreStack instance here. When you go into the control panel, you're going to find Storage Manager. And inside the Storage Manager, you're going to see the OneDrive for business integration information. To provide the information, we need to go to the Azure Active Directory. You need to be an administrator, and then you can go to your Office 365 account. And every Office 365 organization has an Azure AD. So let's go ahead and create an application and then leave the application type as web app. And the sign-on URL could be set to the login page. And the easiest way to find out the login page is to go to your CentreStack instance to the web portal and then type in the URL, and it's going to be automatically redirect to the login page. And now you could put the login page in. So now let's go and find our OneDrive test app here. So our OneDrive test app, the first thing we need to change is the reply URL here. So the reply URL is supplied as the callback URL. The Azure AD is also a moving target. The user interface is changing. Sometimes it's called callback reply. It's a little bit different. And then later on, you can see there's another change in a previous version. It's called client ID, but now it's called application ID. After we change the reply URL, so now we need to select an API, and we need to go ahead and select the Office 365 SharePoint Online API for the application we are creating. And then the next thing we need to do is to select the permissions. So for the permissions, there are two portions of it. One is the application, and the other part is the delegated permission. We need to select everything from the delegated, and then for the application side, we probably don't need to read and write user profile, so we can, you can always select all to give more, and then you can take away after. So that's the second step. Select the URL, select the API, and set the permission. The third step is to create a key, and a key is very important, the way to talk to Azure AD. So it says once you save it, you can get the value. So we need to store the value away because we're going to use this value to put into the CentreStack OneDrive for business integration, the two text boxes there to put information in. With all this information, the last thing we need to get is the application ID. This was called client ID in previous Azure AD user interface, but now it's called application ID. So now we go ahead and put those information in. The OneDrive for Business had previous integration, so now we are just creating a different application to be integrated to, and that application in Azure ID is representing the ability to query and call into the SharePoint Online, and then the OneDrive for Business under the hood was SharePoint Online, so that's why we need to pick that SharePoint Online for integration. So now everything's all set. So let's give it a try. So we will need to mount. So now after we create an Azure AD application and set up the integration information, it just gave us the ability to call into OneDrive. So now we still need to mount it in depending on who the user is. So now we are going to create a folder, and we need to get authorization code. Because in the same Chrome, I already logged in as an Office 365 user, so it doesn't ask me again for the username and password, but ask me to authorize the required permission. So now the OneDrive for Business account is mounted in, and it's mounted in with the user's credential who's already in the Chrome. And if you don't already log in to the Chrome, you will be able to log in as a different user. So this is the mounted drive, and then you can see the files and folders are showing up. And in order to make sure that the files and folders in CentreStack reflects the one in OneDrive, so we go ahead and create a test 2018 folder, and we will be uploading a picture. So it's uploading to OneDrive. So now let's go back and do a refresh, and then that's the test 2018 folder. And the folder, the picture in the folder is showing up as well. So now let's go back to OneDrive and switch into the icon view, and then you can see it is indeed the same picture, whether or not you are visiting it directly from OneDrive or you are visiting it from CentreStack. So now let's do another experiment here. So that's from CentreStack side, we upload another picture to the same folder. So the folder is a Azure logo. So let's see, I don't know if there's a refresh button here. But anyway, so we could go out and go in. Maybe it would take some time to show up. So let's see. Maybe it takes a while. Maybe it's cached the files and folders. Let's see if we can find the refresh button, or maybe just switch into a different. Oh, there we go. So the file shows up, right? So the file wasn't uploaded from Office 365, but uploaded from CentreStack. So now CentreStack has the Office OneDrive for Business integration. Thank you.